274,641. That is the number of teen births in the United States according to the National Campaign. 9.4 billion. That is the amount of money spent of teen childbearing, which is also stated by the National Campaign. 50%, stated on DoSomething.com. That is the percentage of teen mothers who will not graduate from high school. And 2%. Less than 2% of these teen moms will earn a college degree by the age of 30, stated by StayTeen.org. Additionally, DoSomething.com stated that the United States has one of the highest teen pregnancy rates in the Western industrialized world. And according to Healthcare Daily, Texas teenagers had the third highest pregnancy and birth rates in the U.S. in 2008. Considering the fact that all of you are living in Texas and many of you grew up in Texas, you are all mostly teens or have been out of your teenage years for a few years. So you can closely relate to this topic. You might even know someone who's gone through this teen pregnancy. I have thoroughly done my research on this topic, and I was personally raised through a teen pregnancy. So I got to witness firsthand how teen pregnancy affects both the mother and the daughter. Teen pregnancy remains a problem all across the United States. Because teen pregnancy has a huge effect on the teenager's life, and because so much of our population is composed of teen pregnancies, I propose we learn an effective way to aid in solving teen pregnancies. First, we understand the statistics of teen pregnancy and come to the realization of how many people are affected by it. The first problem is how many people do not necessarily realize the amounts of teens that are affected by this. Like I said before, the National Campaign has made it known that there have been about 274,641 teen births in the United States. Many people do not realize how many teens that is, but little do they know that all of these teens are undergoing these births and are all going to have more challenging lives ahead of them through all of the trials and tribulations. 35% of women under the age of 20 become pregnant at least once. How many of you are under the age of 20? If you are, just think to yourselves, do you think you would be sitting in this classroom right now if you were to be a part of this percentage of teenage pregnancies? Or do you feel as if you aren't quite sure where you would be? Not only is this the number of teenagers that become pregnant a major problem, but how little our teenagers know about teen pregnancy plays a major role as well. Today, our society's teenagers are unaware of teen pregnancy and how it can and more than likely will affect their future. Less than 50% of all teens that become pregnant will not graduate from high school. And if you really think about it, how many people do you know that have continued going through high school and eventually got their diploma? Teen pregnancy has major consequences in your life and can change not only your education, but your freedom, health, loss of friends, and even some of your family's respect. Many teens don't realize this, but once they become pregnant, they're risking losing so much in their lives. Whether it be their family or just their friends, they're risking so much all because they decided to make this mistake in their life. Teen pregnancy is a major problem that cannot be ignored. Because so many of our teenagers are affected by teen pregnancy, and many of them don't realize what could potentially be affected in their futures because of this, a solution is desperately needed. The solution that I propose is that teenagers in our society need to become more aware of how they can aid to solving this problem. Although abstinence is the ultimate way of preventing teenage pregnancy, I feel like many teens lack being knowledgeable about their contraceptives. Besides abstinence, using contraception during sexual intercourse can also prevent teenage pregnancy. It is also known that a little over half of the teenagers that don't use contraceptive is because their partner says they simply don't like using them. And by not using contraceptives, it puts them into a higher risk of becoming a pregnant teen. Another way to aid teen pregnancy is obtaining birth control. In whatever form, PlannedParenthood.org expresses that there are many different forms in birth control. Whether it be an implant, a patch, a shot, or just a pill, there are all forms of birth control that can help teens preventing becoming a parent. It is apparent that many teens in our society deal with teenage pregnancy and that they are unaware of the effects that teenage pregnancy may cause them in the future and remaining as a problem. In order to solve this problem, more teens need to be aware of the different types of contraceptives and the ways that they can potentially aid teenage pregnancy. While many of us have never really thought about how teenage pregnancy is a huge part of our society and how it greatly affects the teenagers that are involved in being pregnant, we should now have a little bit of better understanding of why we should continue to find ways to gradually put a stop to teen pregnancy.